people are saying, well, where am I going to go? And I know it's a little bit inconvenient, but you know, when you take a look at the value and the prices that you have, that, by the way, the discounts will also apply to punch cards, so on and so forth. So the rates are on our website if you go to the discount page for the Trails Rec Center. Okay, so we turn around and we did that anticipating a very long delay in reopening the rec center, and or even failing to come to a compromise with them about what's going on at the site.
Yeah.
We have turned around and talked with them and the city also on the maintenance to the outside of the property, and told them that they need to maintain and keep the upkeep to the outside. The city requires that you know, your grass must be less than 6 inches. If it's more than 6 inches and somebody complains about it, they can abate the property and have one of their own people come out there. This includes regular properties. They can abate the property and have somebody come out and do the work and turn around and charge it to your property tax. So they can assess your house if you don't turn around and take care of the maintenance on it. So they send you notice first, they give you 60 days, you don't comply, they turn around and they take care of it. They have deeper pockets than I do, so I'll let them deal with that.
In the rec center, that includes one extra person, right? But fee is not just one person fee.
There's a variety. There's a variety of things you can choose from.
Oh, okay.
Right? Whether or not it's a 20 card or a 20 visit punch card, 40 punch card. There's I think it's a family of 2, a family of 4, and then additional children. So there's all sorts of options you can pick from and put together to make it so that your household kind of fits into it.
Right.
Okay.
And they have the discounts across all of those different points.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
does that help?
Yeah, it does. Thanks for the
Okay.
update.
You know, I mean, at this point, out of that meeting, it really open for business. You know, we'll see what happens then.
Now, I do know that they have offered, and they said as they start getting a little hopefully it'll happen September, October timeframe. I don't want to push it too much past that. But like I said, right now, from what we have heard, they were looking at sometime in 2016 before they were going to be opening up the doors. They said that up on that. So again, that's one of those things. All right, any other questions?
Super quick comment, and this is unfortunate that I have to say this, but a couple of our cars last night got rummaged through and some money was stolen in our neighborhood. So, and then I would just pass it along. Don't forget to lock your doors like we did. Luckily, my husband happened to forget his wallet in there yesterday. They only took the cash. They didn't take the wallet, which was very nice of them, I guess. But so just, yeah.
All right. And along with that, you know, I have heard from people that live close to the center of the community, and I did see some postings on Nextdoor about a lot of activities that are going on in Mission Viejo Park, particularly at night. You know, when it's summer, it's very easy for kids to be hanging out in dark spaces where the cops can't catch them. So I want to be sure that I share this this little trick with you. Okay, we had several issues last year that were similar to this, and in talking with our PAR officer, this is the best solution that we can come up with. A lot of these kids, when they're down there, they have an iPhone with a scanner app on it. So you turn around and you say, man, there's M80s going off and there's all sorts of noise and blah, blah, blah. You call the cops. And they turn around, dispatch contacts the officer and his patrol car through what?
Police scanner.
Police scanner. Police scanner is open to the public. So now they've just been notified that an officer is coming to Mission Viejo Park looking for them. Are the cops going to find anybody when they get there? No. So when you call dispatch, if you know that there are teens down there that may be causing the issue, turn around and make sure that you identify to the dispatch operator that you believe that they may be carrying a police scanner app on their phone, and please ask them to contact the officer that will be responding by cell phone. And it's a large number, make sure that you turn around and tell them that it's a large number gathered. Realize, however, that Mission Viejo Park has like a funnel. I don't know whether or not you've ever looked at Mission Viejo Park, where you have the so a lot of times it's you know, it's catch and run, right?
And I had some teens in my backyard on Wednesday night.
So
When I called, I told them all that and they sent someone else. But
Yeah.
my dog cornered him behind the shed and there was nowhere to go.
right,
With a big flashlight, my husband wasn't home, otherwise I'd probably been out there.
but I do
I
warn
saw
you.
him jump over.
Right, I do want to warn you. Last year when we had some issues that were down there, I had somebody turn around and tell me that they turn around and put they put spotlights on in that area that goes between Mission Park and the elementary school, and they threw floodlights on and everything else because there's no lighting in that area. They threw floodlights on to have somebody pointing a gun at them.
Ooh, scary.
So you know, the thing is that it's not that it's a bad neighborhood. It's just that, you know, you're gonna if you're going to be in pursuit of them or go after them, the safer thing to do is to call the cops and et cetera. You know, I mean, if they had a
Because I'm
knife or
pregnant,
anything else.
otherwise we would have had an issue, but because I was too afraid to come outside because I'm pregnant, my husband wasn't home.
Right.
Otherwise, we would have had a major problem.
Yeah.
But because I was cheating.
All right. So, but just
But
think
I
safe,
can call the police.
right? Think safety first when you're doing that stuff. You know, really don't want to make sure that no one gets injured in that. So, anybody else have any questions before we go ahead and start with the actual meeting? All right. If there are no other questions, this is August 18th, and this is the Mission Viejo Homeowners Association meeting. We've already done the open forum. The board. And if I can have a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Do we have any further discussion or corrections to be made regarding last month's minutes? Okay. I call the item to order. All those in favor? Aye. All right. Next item is the review of financial matters. I did not put together the financials. We had a lot of activities going on over the last week or so, along with me turning around and making sure that the bill was paid for our storage area, so on and so forth. So I apologize to you. My new work position is definitely keeping me busy, and I was not able to turn around and to verify the financials. I will get those out. We will talk some more about financials over here in a little bit. There are no additional committee reports, so none of those need to go forward.
Can I make a comment about, as far as garden, we had noted that the trees needed some trimming in
Yes.
the garden area.
Uh-huh.
I believe that the city maybe got out and trimmed because we were out for the music in the park. I took a look.
August 15th. So after action, we had enough root beer float stuff out there for 100 people. We put up 2 tents for the band that came and played from the Aurora Symphony. At least for the first hour, it threatened to rain. They took a 10-minute break, and I think they started to play one song, and it started to come down. And we still had people staying. However, the board thought it better to cut and stop the music after about the second song that they played in the second half, simply because we started hearing thunder, and we were not sure when you have brass instruments and you have a pop-up tent made out of metal. I did not want to put anybody that was playing in jeopardy, nor did I want to,
We had, I mean, it was, so it was enjoyable to sit, and it was very, very pleasant to do. But last year's, you felt like getting up and dancing. This year it was kind of like, yeah, it's just to sit back and relax and enjoy. So definitely a differences, and I think different perspectives. Perhaps some of the people that saw what it was going to be maybe said it wasn't their cup of tea. This year is why the attendance was less.
could
And it was
be.
similar type of music?
I think just a 5-piece brass band.
It was more swing last year, and big band type music, where I think this was a compilation of a whole bunch of different types of music that were there.
I'm just thinking the same people that would like to sing will probably like the same,
Yeah,
that type of music as well.
Yeah, it's hard telling.
Hard telling.
It was, it was definitely different, and I think it's good to
I think the weather was a little bit better last year.
Well, the weather didn't cooperate this year as well. But I think, it's just one of those things where, certain things are gonna appeal to certain groups. And this year's,
We broke our tent last year, Randy, quickly.
Yeah. At that particular event, I got
All of our events and all of our.
it was all of our events. Feed 500, and we didn't have the people. We don't doing $8. So big chunks of fence that would, came down, and they didn't want to turn around and put them out front, for the trash, whatever. All those, the couches and
Have to be
everything else,
hauled or pay extra for it.
right? The only thing that we can't take are like, canes, chemicals and electrical appliances, right? Certainly no refrigerators and that kind of thing, because it's got the Freon stuff in there, and those have to be treated carefully through another venue. But other than that, all that stuff is there.
Did we decide at 10:30, is that when it gets open up to
That's what I have in
not?
30 for a fee, and to add a third truck.
Yes.
So we said we were going to limit Mission Viejo residents to two truckloads before 10:30. If they still had more, they could come with a third truck after 10:30.
Right.
I was
Space
more
permitting.
questioning the non-HOA homeowners, but at that stage, if they're gonna pay the money, they're gonna become
Yep, because I have
HOA
here
members at that
10:30.
stage. Got it. And it goes till about 12 o'clock, right?
Right.
Yes, or until
all three
that,
trucks.
or until all three trucks are full. Right. So if that's something you guys are interested in, please come out. It's been successful the last 2 years that we've done it. The first year we ran out of space altogether before our noon hour. Last year we had, in both years, last year we had, I think we had, so this year we turned around and decided we're going to add a third truck and open it up to the community. So, because there are 5 HOAs also within the areas of Seville and French Creek, and all those folks they'll all be told about it so that they can turn around and they can participate in that as well. And again, that turns around and benefits the residents within the HOA as well as maybe benefiting us and being able to recoup some of it. So the note that I have on here is that we need to begin advertising in the newsletter and on Nextdoor, and I'm going to be doing the reach out to the churches as well as to the other HOAs. So just wanted
And
to.
am I going to try to get are we still gonna try to do that, the volunteers to help people? To help the elder residents who are unable to bring their items? Should I bring that up at all?
Well, all
For the
right.
people that don't have
All right.
trucks.
So I'm going to ask you guys this. Okay, so last month we were considering requesting volunteers to help elderly residents who are unable to bring their items or neighbors who do not have a truck, right? To help them get it up here. Is that something that you'd like us to do, to offer with this, number one? Number two, is that something that you would, if you had the capability of having a truck or helping out an elderly neighbor, is that something that you would do?
I think my husband would.
I
don't know what job I would be.
Because I don't want to offer it and then not,
Nobody
nobody
volunteers.
volunteer. You see what I'm saying? That's, especially with the last couple of events, it's so hard for us because, if I don't have volunteers, we can consider it all we want, but if I don't have anybody volunteer, if I don't have somebody to turn around and say, I'm willing to drive a truck, or, I have a truck, but it's a fairly new truck, and I don't want to turn around and, mess up my paint, for turning around and somebody throwing stuff in there. So it's kind of a very, very tough balance. So, anyway, think about that.
Can we put a little poll out or something like that?
We-
That would.
We could, you may need to ask Todd for some help on how to do a survey monkey on, or something out on the website. Turn around
If
and
there's
say,
someone that would volunteer, give us your name, type stuff, and then we could determine if it's feasible, and then we could say, we have someone.
we can add that next month.
What, you want me to give a name on the poll itself?
Well,
No.
I'm sorry, what?
monkey survey, you can
Yeah.
turn around and you can have them fill it out, and when they submit it, it doesn't go out available to everybody. All the results come back to us.
No, I understand, but what exactly my point, to see if they'd be interested in
If
actually
they would volunteer.
volunteering?
If they would volunteer. Need help at the cleanup.
Because we're gonna also kind of talk about how to organize all that too for people.
Right,
Right.
and if.
So if we have some volunteers, then we take that to the next step.
You don't volunteer.
Right, because I can't ask residents whether or not they want it, because they'll all say yes. And then I turn around and go, sorry, I don't have any volunteers. Gotta go the other way around. I gotta get the volunteers first and then next. Yeah, and then
If we get some volunteers that say, if it's 2 or 3, all right, we have, a couple of volunteers. If there are a couple of them, then we can help coordinate.
All right, moving on to National Night Out. National Night Out is always the first Tuesday in August. It was at about 6:55 in Mission Park this year. We did a wonderful job of advertising that event as well. I am happy to report that the Boy Scouts were out there and had put up some of the games and stuff. We did have a little bit of technical difficulties with the wind that evening. We put up a pop-up and it started to fly away and bent one of the poles on our pop-up. We were able to fix some of it. I don't know.
It's functional.
But it's functional.
It's functional. Hard to work with, but it's still functional.
But it's functioning. The great thing is that we turn around and we brought out over 100 bottles of water and granola bars and stuff for people who were waiting and during the event, and we turned around and we made sure that all of the participants in the event, that being all the police officers and so on and so forth that came and made sure that they had water and granola bars and stuff. We had probably, now this is really strange, about this tall, and they just absolutely had a blast. As far as the most fun event for kids every year, that is the one, it is. The city did get back with me and tell us that we had again the largest number of participants of any of the stops that they had along that route. This is like the 4th year in a row that that's happened. Next year we hope to make it even bigger and better. So I appreciate everybody's efforts in putting that together and hoping that we can continue to have that grow.
So one of the events is good participation.
Yes, for people about this tall. It's always those that can't vote, right? They can't, that aren't going to give you any money. Those are the ones that turn around and participate the most. So I appreciate that because it's honest and it's raw and it's just absolutely a wonderful time to see those kids light up and to turn around and be able to, know that they shouldn't fear the police, and they were able to turn around and put on the vests and the helmets and go into the SWAT trucks and all that other stuff. You just
Okay, I really need to start paying attention more.
You might get
would love that.
Okay.
They let him sit on the motorcycle.
All right, so
we gotta go with the SWAT
here, do you need a
truck.
pen? It's the first Tuesday in August, okay?
Well, now I know.
First Tuesday in August.
I read the last newsletter too. It's
All right. Neighborhood garage sale. After action on the neighborhood garage sale. So this was really wonderful. I turned around and I put out most of the signs on that Thursday evening. I thought this was interesting. At about, I get off at 3:45, and I happen to be working from home that day. And so at 3:45, I hopped in my truck. That came in at 3:46 in the evening, and that said, "Are we putting up the signs? No one knows that there's a community garage sale tomorrow." And I said, "Would you please go out and look? If you put up a sign that says community garage sale today, right, and you have it out there at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday, would you think the community garage sale is on Thursday?"
And they will show up.
And they'll show up, right? So I didn't want people to be turning around and driving through the neighborhood on Thursday, so I turned around and opted to put them out on Thursday evening,
So we don't.
which we always do.
Usually
I
meet
then-
at 3:45.
I then proceeded to get some emails saying that the signs were too small. People couldn't read them. So it's the average, most of the signs, we have about 25 of them that went on corners, about the size of the
Political ads.
the political ads, the ones that you stand up and stick in the ground, right? In addition, we had 4 large banner signs that were, maybe not this tall, but was 3 by 3 by 6, something in that nature. That said, community garage sale this weekend. We have 4 banners, and we have about 20 some odd signs. There's 2 different types of signs. There's one that says Mission Viejo Community Garage Sale, and then there's other ones that just say Garage Sale Community.
You said 20, right?
About 20, 25. I looked at the price of getting more banners. Those banners run between $200 and $250 each. They're expensive.
Post it on Craigslist and call it a day.
We had it posted on Craigslist. We had it, you know.
Did people show up?
Yeah, we had people show up. I
Our
thought it was,
neighbors said that lots of people showed up.
I thought, so I thought it was funny. You know, my wife and I, we went garage selling on Saturday.
There were like 7 or
They're
8.
done by
No. Well,
Last
usually the
year.
good garage sales, they're done by like 8
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning, right?
That's
All the good
fine.
stuff is gone. So as I'm going through, I'm like, God, you know, you're getting an awful late start. Wow, we didn't know that, you know, we saw that, you know, our neighbors up the street, you know, were having a garage sale. And then we finally saw the signs that said that it was a community garage sale going on this weekend. We didn't know there was a community garage sale going on. I know we had it in
You guys did
next
a
door.
great job. putting
I
it
know
on
we had it
Nextdoor, Facebook,
sign-
we had it everywhere.
We had it everywhere. So I thought it was interesting that,
From last year to this year, total night and day.
okay, so I want you guys to know that I had people turning around that were setting up. I went to the garage sales that were setting up on Saturday, okay? It's been in there for the last 2 months. Well, I rent, so I don't read it. Do you live here? Okay. So there's not a whole bunch that we can do on that side. However, we did see that there were about 115 garage sales going on. I was going to take down those garage sale signs down on Saturday night and opted to wait until Sunday. I was going to take them down early Sunday morning. My wife had other plans for me on Sunday morning, which included, you know, cleaning the garage and doing other things. And so I didn't wind up getting to the signs until almost 3 o'clock, taking them down. And I had here.
Time for you guys?
Time of year better, worse?
Fine, yeah.
I don't care one way or the other.
To the January.
It's nice not to have to put up the signs and advertise, and someone else does it, so I'll just put my stuff out. So you won't get a complaint from me.
But was it better in you know, and I thought about this too, and you know, I commented to this with people as well. You know, I think last year we had it in June. And any weekend that we would have had it in June this year, it would have rained, right? And so because we delayed, we had a wonderful weekend. Said, you know, I think the timing was right because once you get into the latter part of August, then you have rain every evening around 4 o'clock. So they kind of thought that it fit almost perfectly in for them, you know, as far as that schedule was concerned, and that in June, when we had it, it was right after the kids got out of school, so people were heading off on vacation and didn't
This was
really
actually the weekend just before school started.
right.
I think that's actually not a bad weekend to do it, because everyone's finally just getting back.
Well, yeah, there was, I saw one comment that it was their last hurrah with their kids, so they didn't like that, but.
And I'm just gonna bring this up again at every meeting
elementary newsletter.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you know, our through our website and through the newsletter that we have, you know, you can get notifications, you know, because if you get on our email list, here's one that we have, you know, for the annual meeting that we keep separately. So if you would just want to be on that list to be notified of the annual meeting, that's fine. If there's, you know, other things like the HOA meeting or other events that we have throughout the year, you can be on that list as well. So, you know, we try to push notifications out to folks. You know, the thing is that I know in you know, between this board as things have morphed with costs. So we have a $5,000 grant with the city, right? There's certain things that we need to do, right? So 20 cubic feet of old mulch. Okay, so
Cubic yards.
cubic yards, thank you, of old mulch that's got to come off, right? So the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to have people scraping and turning it around, wheelbarrow, and getting it into the roll-offs. The roll-offs, there's 2 required. They're about $250 a piece. You'll follow along with numbers here, so you don't have to turn around and write all this stuff down. And that's about $500. I'm seeing whether or not that I can get that cost reduced a little bit, but not sure how much. I'm trying to get them to deliver that, by the way, on Saturday morning, a little bit after 8 o'clock, Saturday morning, just after 8, and that they'll place one. So this is the street here. This is the blocking. I'm going to ask them to put one here and one here, rather than putting one here and one here.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay.
As long as we can fit them into the lane.
To some of the places, but they turn around and go, you have to have your own trailer, or you gotta, we'll deliver it for you, but it's $50 delivery and $50 pickup. And with some of those places, it was $350 per Bobcat, right? However, and you're gonna love this one. However, Home Depot has them. They're $289 for a 24-hour period. Okay, they do have 2 of them available. They're each on a trailer, but you can't reserve them. So we've got to go Friday afternoon and turn around and take care of it.
My truck will be, well, I can use my wife's car.
I can turn around. I got, the hitch on mine as well. We can turn around and get it to the neighborhood, and that'll be fine. But then Saturday afternoon, we got to get them back, right? fun part about that is, the city was supposed to be paying for this stuff up front, and like with the roll-offs, they'll pay directly for it. With the Bobcats, however, because, they can't turn around and get the credit card on, Friday night, blah, 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 because, all this other crap. We have to pay that, and then submit a bill. I'm trying to get their tax numbers so that we can turn around and make it so that we don't pay the tax on it, because if we pay tax on it, guess what? Tax is our bill. We eat that. Weed barrier, they've already picked that up, and so that's already come. That part of it's already picked up and gone. So now we get into the different rocks and the barricade. So the barricade, there was a $70 fee to turn around and have the plan drawn up on how all this is going to come and where they got to put the sign and where they got to do all this other stuff. They got to have a plan, and that costs $70. Okay, and seeing that we're using the plan over and over and over again, we don't have to submit a different plan for a different week. Then comes the barricade, and by the way, I thought this was really good for this price. You guys will laugh, but when we used to do cleanups in the neighborhood, we used to turn around and we used to pay for the barricades there and everything else. We used to get the city rate. City rate is now $450 to close off that area, okay, which is pretty good. If we were not going through a city contract, it would cost us about $1,100 to close off that area. So the 450 rock delivery for each truck that comes out, it's $77.25. Okay, there are two different type of trucks, one with large rock and one with small rock coming on that day. The most that can fit in there is 15 ton of rock, which is the small rock, and the most that can fit of large rock is 12 ton. We estimated that we're going to need about 11. Based upon what they said it's approximately 1 ton per 100 square or 100 foot when you're just doing a lineup. It was 1,100 feet going across. So 11 tons should work well for that. If we run a little bit short, we can always turn around and pick up on the next load. Just for day number 1, we're at $3,096.20 roughly.
Real quick, for the barricade, did you say 450?
Yeah,
$450 plus the $70
For the plan.
for the plan fee. That's why it's $520 on the first week, right? So week number 2. Week number 2 is September 12th. Again, we have 2 Bobcats because we know we're going to be moving a lot of rock, right? We have approximately, right now, I have it listed at 20 ton. It's actually supposed to be about 30 ton. They told me that it's going to be somewhere, the total amount of rock should be somewhere between, and actually I did that, no, the 30 ton is there. You're just not seeing it yet. They told me that the total amount of rock should be between 45 and 55 ton total to get that entire area done. Okay? So if I turn around and say I got 11 ton in large rock, that's turning around and taking up some of the border, but then we have to, fill all that stuff in. We need, 15 ton is coming in the first week, and then we have the 30 ton, that's 45 ton, right, plus the 10, 11 ton, so it's going to be somewhere around there, maybe plus or minus. However, what I got to remember is that I can get approximately 15 ton in a truck, right? Every time the truck comes, even if I only fill it up halfway, I'm paying $77.25. So I want to try to get as much as I can in the truck, because I don't want to pay the delivery fee. Okay. So everybody's with me so far? All right. No, I forgot one delivery fee on there. All right. Actually, no. So I have 20 ton there, but you're like, Alan, I have 15 ton of small rock on the top there, right? But what I tried to do is I tried to get it so that I did not exceed the budget, right? So what we would have to cover is approximately 10 ton of that at $359. Now, you're saying, Alan, on work week 3, right? You have 0 Bobcats, 0 barricades, and 0 rock. And that's because I have no budget left for it. So, does that mean, here's what you got to remember here, does that mean that we're not going to have work on the 19th? No, because we may be, we may need a little more rock, or there may be some adjustments that need to be made, and you know, there's got to be a little bit of cleanup and stuff. Maybe we didn't get that 30-ton rock out, but it's only 1 week between one and the other. And so what I'm hoping is that for that second week that we do it, I'm putting one load up on the street, and the other load is going to come like in the parking lot with these folks over here. So I need to negotiate that for the 12th, so that once we get to one load, if it's too much, right, then we have a way to back out. If I turn around and have them put the rock, which I'm hoping what they're going to do is put rock here and rock here on the street. Well, what does that mean? That means everything has to go on that day, because it's a month in between that day and the next day. Right? Now, some pluses. The Boy Scouts turned around and said that they're going to turn around and the Boy Scout troop here is going to turn around and come out with a bunch of boys on all 3 days and turn around and give us a hand wherever they can.
But we're hoping to get about 50 volunteers each day. Is that what's
on the first day, absolutely for sure. Right now, I've got about 25, 30. We're hoping that we can push that number up. I'm still getting emails from people saying, please count me in for Saturday. I will give you the entire list of people that are there. We did not put in the newsletter, and I think I mentioned this to you on Saturday night.
No, I did post it.
June's is in there. If you minimize the, you'll.
Is it recent?
It's on the desktop. You should see June minutes. Yeah. The board has said that if those people that come out and volunteer, we're going to turn around and make sure we got everybody's name, give you a draw number, and we'll be drawing for prizes. We're going to ask you to put your names on the back.
Wait, 8 $25 rewards.
8 $25 gift cards.
You guys have enough water, and because I can't help, I'll volunteer my husband.
All right. So in light of that, we have plenty of water.
Okay.
And you know, we have access to water. That's not an issue. We have granola bars that are left over, so there's plenty of chew on that as well. Plus, we have the ice cream and root beer left over from Music in the Park that we're going to make sure that comes up here about 11:30 to make sure we turn around and really get something fresh into folks to get that last bit of wind to get that stuff done.
Okay.
Okay.
So again, we're trying from about 8 to 12:30.
8 to 12:30, 1 o'clock the very latest, because that's when the barricades are supposed to be coming down.
Which perimeter are you doing?
This year's grant application that went in is covering from the edge of Holy Love property on Chambers going down to NASA, which is the first intersection that it comes to.
Yeah.
That's 1,100 feet. We turned around and this past month and there was 34 dead bushes and 4 tree stumps that we paid a contractor to have taken out, so that as we were working, we would not have to deal with all that stuff. So I don't know if anybody noticed it. Going down towards the library, but that section is close to 2,000 feet, and so we would have to break that up into 2 sections to kind of, if it's the same $5,000 grant that we apply for. And there's a lot of dead shrubbery and junk that's along that area that needs to come out. So there's a lot more work that needs to be done there. So we need less space and more money. So
How are we getting like tickets or something for the?
we have tickets. We have
tickets.
tickets in the machine. So those are all in there along with the granola bars stuff that we're taking care of.
And then I had that Doug was doing flyers for us.
Doug did flyers, and all those flyers went out on doors, in,
For volunteer?
for volunteers.
We just didn't do all houses, I guess, right?
No, we did, the areas that she felt that we
Okay,
get.
but we did get those out.
We did get those out, and we did have a whole bunch of those, that were out there for the 4th of July, and we gave her the balance of those, correct, to get out. And it's been in the newsletter, it's been advertised everywhere else. So, on the last day, there may need to be a little bit more rock and so on and so forth. Right now, if everything goes perfectly right, I'm short about $360. That's if I don't need a Bobcat on the last day, which if I've just got a little bit of rock that we're picking up and stuff, rather than turning around and paying a truck to bring 2 or 3 tons, it may be worth turning around and, you know, just getting it smaller and picking it up with some folks and turning around and doing the last bit of cleanup that needs to be done and getting that done, right?
And what tools do we want?
So for this Saturday, right, we need shovels, we need wheelbarrows, you know, bring work gloves, bring a lot of energy, a lot of energy. A lot of stuff needs to get done. So we got some rakes, and anything that you can think of. Remember, we were trying to pick up old mulch. They're for the rock that's going to be coming along the edge, right? Because we got the sidewalk. Let's say we got the sidewalk here. And this is the area. You're going to build a small trench in there before they lay the weed barrier down, because the larger rock is going to be to the edge. The reason that we're doing that is so that the smaller rock, which is about, you know, inch and a half, 2 inches, does not roll off into the street and it just doesn't get kicked all over the place. And we want to make sure that it kind of stays up in that area so that nobody is going to turn around and complain that their rock hit their window on their car and blew it out, anything like that. So we want to try to do everything that we can to mitigate all that kind of stuff. So I need from the board, because I'm estimating right now that after everything was said and done with the other stuff that we had, that by the time we get to the end of where we are, that, again, this is only an estimate based upon what's here, and if I need to get a Bobcat for that last day, if I need to do a road closure on that last day, I'm looking at needing $1,400. If I don't need, because I don't have lane closure in there, right? Lane closure is $450, Bobcat is $289. You know, and those things on the top half, by the way, is what was covered under the grant, right? Everything else is covered under what we would have to pay. So if I've got to turn around and I've got to pay more on the on the barricade, that means I need to pick up more on the rock. If I, you see what I'm saying? I need to balance it. So I won't know until I get to that point. It's probably going to be pushed. What our portion is going to be at the very end, right? But the city won't pay more than $5,000. If the bill that I give them is 501 something, they're not going to pay on one of the receipts. They're not going to turn around and say, well, we'll just turn around and give you 5,000 or whatever it is to make it 5,000 and call it even. No, that's not the way it works. So I need a little bit of leeway. So with that in mind, I came up with the following items. Okay, are you ready for these? Follow with me closely. Current balance in the bank is $13,536. We still have outstanding through the rest of the year the following expenses: $350 for DORA and state fees for our licensing and making sure we're registered with DORA, $400 for the tax and account audit, approximately $2,000 for dumpster day, approximately $1,800 for the holiday hayride, approximately $600 for the holiday lighting, approximately $120 through the remainder of the year for web.com, approximately the same amount for Ting, approximately $160 through the rest of the year for QuickBooks, the $300 that we had set aside for the software, $600 for the welcome committee for their stuff that we haven't ordered yet. That gets us to about $6,500. I know there's a couple of other items that were not on there, but the current balance is on there. You already turned around and got those 2 gift certificates for those 2 couples.
I have a copy with one of them we did.
They're purchased. They're purchased, and you got the receipt. That means it's already in that balance, that current balance.
Right.
That current balance is what I took off of the bank account today. So that
Got
means
the volunteer parties on next year's.
that's on next year's. Oh, wait a second, we got more. So because I forgot, I was turning around and going, oh man, we still got more. We've got approximately $2,000 in the voting and the mailing of ballots for the annual meeting, as well as another $500 or something like that for $500-600 for the discount cards. That brings us down to about $9,000 in expenses, right? So it puts us at about, oh man, about $6,000, right? End of the year, I need to be at $8,332.22. That's the goal, be back where we started, right? Don't spend more than you have, get more than, right? But we also still expect, right now, one more payment at least for 3 months on the trash program, which is approximately $6,300, what I expected to come. He told me there was another $125 coming in from the 4th of July that was just deposited. Depending on where we are with the dump today, we can safely say, based upon what we discussed last month, I expect revenue to come in somewhere between $500 and $1,000. With that said, we're going to have a problem at the end of the year that we need to spend approximately $3,400 before the year's out, other than the expenses that we're using. So,
The same problem we had every year.
same problem. Well, this year is going to be even worse because we're with all those months and stuff with Pro. So, because we got a check in January for the previous 6 months, and so we've caught up, and this year we're actually going to wind up getting more than 28,000. So we can definitely turn around, and I just want to say we can definitely cover the expenses that we got for the work project. No problem there. And by the way, I'm not including any revenue that I know that we're already expecting for the purchase of replacement rock, because that money should go into a separate fund. Right now, I think this year I think there's about another $650 expecting to come in. I just had somebody else turn around and give me a call and ask me for more rock. Brick. Sorry, brick. $650 we're expecting from Seville Townhomes on their use of some brick to shore up one of the walls. And I think we've already had about $354 in brick revenue come in.
How is our brick supply?
It's starting to go down. Remember that I think the last time we ordered 2-3 years ago, the problem that we wound up having is that we're not charging anybody here the cost of the shipping, right? Which was about the equivalent of the price of the bricks as you see them out on our website. We give a discount to those people who are active members, as well as to Seville for storing that at their facility rather than putting it in ours, because it's a lot of rock. And it doesn't matter whether or not you buy 1 pallet of brick or whether or not you buy 10 pallets of brick, the cost is exorbitant because you pay for the truck haul from California out to here. So the more actually you get on it, the better price you get on shipping. So I'm slowly putting that money in reserve so that we can turn around and replenish that at some point in time. Don't know that we need to replenish it quite yet.
So I think we estimate that it should last us about 5 to 7 years.
I don't know that it's going to last us that at the rate that it's.
That's right. Well, there's been a lot of people hitting walls with cars. So.
Not only that, but
Seville did a bunch of rebuilding.
Yeah, because they did purchase that brick in the past.
Right. So they purchased from us. They got that's an altogether different conversation. But all right. So we can afford to go up to, I would say, safely $3,000. I said I would probably, at the most, need an additional $1,500 to cover all the expenses that may be incurred in the beautification project to make sure that we get it done, complete, and we're good. So I would like to make a motion to the board that we allow up to the cost of $1,500 to be spent for whatever additional supplies, et cetera, that we need in order to take care of this event and get this thing finished, so that we're good. Again, that would put us, you know, with. By the way, the number also up there also includes, we already paid for the additional weeding bill and everything else. So all that's paid for. Okay. So that's my motion.
I second it.
Further discussion. Anyway,
Alright.
good idea, bad idea.
Yeah, well, I think,
Sideways
I
idea.
think we need to make sure that, I think finishing it, that it's complete is a good idea, is good. My hope there would be that we could, you know, that third workday could be done without barricades and stuff, where it's just the last little stuff, but that's.
My hope is that that's where we're gonna be at, right? But I wanted to make sure that if we needed the barricades, right, I'll know the week before.
Right.
We'll know that when we finish it on the 12th, that we can then turn around and we can.
And we
take
do
care of it.
technically have another board meeting between the 12th and the 19th.
Yeah, but remember, I gotta turn around.
No, I
and do
agree.
it.
I'm just saying that we are aware.
As far as the barricades, et cetera, I gotta turn
We need to
around,
do
I
it.
gotta make sure that I coordinate that with the city, so that that's their bill to pay, because their bill is that rate. If it's paid by us, we're gonna pay a higher rate.
Right.
So we would.
So I would negotiate with them actually to turn around and push the barricade costs here, and then turn around and take like some of the rock off of the rock, and
We would pay for that.
we pay for it.
You don't want people working out there without that lane closed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's you know, if it's a small amount of stuff, we're taking a couple of wheelbarrows and moving it down, and that's what we gotta finish, right? And the cleanup stuff,
Right.
that's fine. But if I'm moving 20 or 30 ton of rock, right? I want the lane closed, and I want you guys to be, you know, protected and so on and so forth, right? That's one of the reasons why I was sitting there going, you know, not only the lane closures, but let's turn around and let's have the roll-offs in that closed lane. Why? Because, you know, if a car hits that roll-off, forget it, he can stop. But the people that are on the sidewalk and working in between there, they'll be safe. So that's part of my theory on that. I'm gonna work to try to get this finalized with everything I need to, and we'll have that all by Thursday. You and I are gonna need to go and pick up Bobcats on Friday, and we'll have to get reimbursed for that Bobcat on the back end. Okay. So, no further discussion?
So just curious, so the additional amount, did something change that you didn't get kind of covered in the grant, or did something?
Okay. So, how this works miraculously, right? So you put in the grant application and say, okay, how much is it gonna take, blah, blah, blah. How much can you get me rock for? I don't know, you know, I think it's gonna cost about $20, $25, you know, dollars a ton. Okay, can you get me that cost estimate, please? Well, you know, that's the city's rate. Let me see if I can get you that rate. But let me make sure. And so then you say, well, what's the city's rate? Well, that depends on which department I'm talking to. This department tells me this, and the open space tells me this, and this. So I could never get a straight answer from the city. I asked them about the barricade, and they said, oh, it shouldn't cost more than $250, $300, or $50, right? And so it's constantly a moving target. I'll tell you that if we got a great deal with this company on the rock itself, because the original price was, for the large rock, it was $65 a ton. And for the small rock, it was $54 a ton. We got a rate of $54.95 on the large rock, which was about $10 off on per ton. Additionally, the $53 a ton for the was normal going rate for the small rock, we got it for $36, which was an even greater amount, and we're getting about 45 ton of that. So you turn around, you add all that up. I mean, there's huge savings there.
Well, that makes sense. I just didn't quite
Okay.
know where that came from. So
So, and I, you know, it is money that we're bringing in through the trash program, and people want to know that their money is going to good use. So,
It's kind of our first project of this scale, so I think next year we probably plan a little better.
Right, well, we'll have a better idea of what things. look
Next, and right, this year we turned around and we bid off 1,100 square feet, and I know that we have somewhere in the area of close to 2,000 square feet, or I think it's like 18 something on the other side. Maybe we turn around and we at least from what I can figure out, you know, there's along Hampton, there's probably like 3 projects that we can turn around and do this with, and you know, take care of that stuff. The other thing that you know, if we turn around and do this stuff, that and we put that weed barrier down and we do the rocks and everything else, you know, all the weeds and stuff that we currently have coming up, that we're paying what about $6,000-7,000 a year for weed suppression, that we'll be able to slowly turn around and reduce that amount that we're having to pay as well. So it's kind of, you know, we've got to rob Peter to pay Paul at the beginning, but hopefully in the end we'll be able to be better off for it.
It's going to be large rock border with smaller rock
Inside.
What about any plantings?
Planting is we're going to take care of, well, because of how late we're doing it in the year.
Yeah.
You know, we had originally planned at looking at doing some decorative grass and some other stuff. I was able to find some pieces on the internet that were fairly cheap, like $5 per unit, versus ornamental grass. If you go to Nick's and stuff like that, it's $25-30 per unit. And you want to kind of put a smattering of them out there. So, but because of the time of year where everything is dying back, come September, October, we didn't want anything out there, and knowing that the other part is that there is no irrigation system out there. So we need something that is going to take a little maintenance for people who have volunteered to go out there every couple of days in the winter.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll do that next.
So we'll
Look
think
at
about
that as a go back in, open up little areas, and plant next year
in the spring. Type
to our you know, at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
So we'll take a look at it then, but I just didn't see sense in throwing, you know, several $100s into putting plantings in there that we're going to either go dormant or dead. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So, any other questions? All right. So I'll bring it to order. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much to all of you for that.
Before we move on to new business, just a reminder for May minutes.
Yeah.
So September?
Yes, I have this.
Okay, so we'll discuss that.
Thank you. I completely forgot. All right. We're going to keep both of these discussions short. I want to make sure that we begin the process for the holiday lighting contest and the holiday hayride. First of all, the first question is, do we want to have, like we have had for the last 2 years, the holiday lighting contest?
We had it so that everyone won,
That's
and
what
in
I
one
think is
area we
that.
had a runner-up.
Right. That was the first year. Last year, we had more participants. However, it still needs to grow, right? I think more people are, you know, we had what, like 350, 400 people that participated in the hayride, right? Which is like one of our most popular events. And last year we had Santa on the, you know, turn around and come and everything else, and just phenomenal. And so when you do things like that, people that come, they're all of a sudden like, oh man, I really need to turn around and, you know, I need to get on the stick, and I need to turn around and put lights up and enter. You know, not that people aren't putting lights up and doing this or that, they just need to enter, right? $25 or $50. I mean, you know, for first place is $50. Second place is $25. And I think we have it in what, like 5 different areas of the neighborhood. So that we turn around and we have 5 first place winners and 5 runner-ups.
It can be.
Yeah.
It's
So,
words.
see, there's 5 opportunities for $50 and 5 opportunities for another 25, right?
You really need to read the newsletter.
You need to read the newsletter.
Last year, I down, like, looked it up, and I was like, I can't compete with that, that's way too many lines.
Yeah, that's right around.
Yes.
And trust me, the houses that we were
Yeah,
voting
so we
on,
have each
it's not
quadrant,
hard.
and then the center is,
It's like, I made the one 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't
four little
take
things,
much.
I was so disgusted. I'm just pregnant going, okay, honey, I need you to do this.
yeah,
So
really, people
what-
don't realize.
Right. People don't realize, if you know, the thing is that we saw some better light displays than what we gave awards to.
Yeah, but they
Right?
didn't submit anything, right?
But if you don't enter, you can't win. It's like the Publishers Clearinghouse.
They
Okay?
were here for Christmas last year, so that's my
There we go.
defense.
But now
I
this
mean,
is-
I came from a place where it was 40 below at Christmas, so you didn't put up Christmas lights. So.
Right.
That was my fault.
So, right, so entries for, my thought is that we normally do the holiday hayride so that it is,
So you can see them.
so you can see the lights, right? So what we want to try to do is encourage people to get the lights up before then. So all entries should be submitted not later than December 5th. So that if anybody would like to volunteer and go look at lights and say, ooh, ooh.
Can I enter if I do that?
If it's, so you can,
In different
you
areas?
can, as long as different area. So, just because, I'll have people voting in a different area, right? But any help, right? And because I don't want to do the popular thing, by turning around and going on next door and saying, here are all the people that entered. Click on the ones you like. I'm not really a big fan of that simply because, you can like.
Right.
And to me, that's, not the way to go. I want people to have some artistic value to it and so on and so forth. So by the I'll show you how to do that. It should include a picture, everything else, and so all that stuff could be submitted to the board and to those people who are going to volunteer to get that to judge. Judging will be completed not later than the 10th or the 9th, excuse me, with the signs going up on the 10th or the 11th to the award winners, and the holiday hayride will be on the 12th of December. Holiday hayride, 12th of December. We normally run that first hayride going out at 4:30 in the evening.
did we decide which location we're choosing this year?
Do what?
No, that has not been decided yet. The question is, have we decided a location for this year? So 3 years ago, we were at the elementary school. Not this past year, 2 years ago, we were here. Last year, we braved it, we put up the tent, and we were down at Mission Park, right? So we had, luckily, I have one of those gas heater things that we turn around and make people
I think it
warm.
actually turned out pretty well.
It turned out really well. I mean, we had, some food, some drinks, and so on and so forth. Thought it turned out really well. We could have done a little bit better with some of the lighting interior to the tent and that kind of thing, and made it a little bit more festive outside. But I think all in all, it turned out well. There was some things we could have done better. Question is, do you want to have it down near the park kind of thing again? A little bit more to the right, a little bit more to the left?
No, Santa's house made it worth it just going there. His house was
Yeah,
amazing.
I agree.
It was worth it. I loved it as an adult.
So, I mean, we can do it down in that area. One of the things that we tried to do, right, and we had talked about is, could we do it out from like the library this year? And get the library office space for that night so that we could turn around and have it in the meeting room so that we could have people huddle in there and have the horses go out from there. It is nice to have it outside, but, it's hard to have hot food,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. The
setup
setup
more
Setup was high.
challenging.
It's difficult. We kept popping the circuit on the generator. We only have one or two coffee
setups.
bots on at the same time.
So that does become a challenge, for that kind of stuff.
Is that the same generator that we have this year?
Yeah, that's right.
We purchased the generator.
We purchased the
Yeah, so
generator.
that's
we
what
kept renting them, and it was costing us like what?
Yeah, I just didn't know.
It
if
was,
one
it was
that we
costing
sold.
us several $100s every time we turn around and shook a stick at a generator, so.
I just know that it was fun being in a tent, all cold,
It
hot
was.
chocolate just coming off of the hayride.
It worked. It totally worked.
It did, we were lucky that we didn't have a lot of snow on the ground, anything else to get that tent up, et cetera, et
It
cetera.
was, not the same, what if
Right?
it's not this year?
What if it's not this year? And that's the, right? And so the question is, do you want to be in a hard area that, you know, do you want to be out in the cold? If you're going to be out in the cold, then I know Adam will be more than happy to come out and put up a tent, because you're going to tell him, Adam, go out there.
We helped you guys last year.
We did. You know, we had our struggles with getting up that tent. It's a big tent. It's a 10 by 30 foot tent, so it takes a lot of people to get it up and stake it in and do all that other stuff. And again, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, volunteers. We don't have to worry about the horses and the hay and the picking up of the pooper scoopers and that stuff at the end, but we got to get the heaters out there and the generators. It's a lot of manpower and a lot of energy and effort to get that out done.
So our option is doing what we did last year, or something somewhere outside or going inside. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, so I don't want to turn around. I don't want to make a decision on that this show up tonight. I want to turn around and kind of throw that out there. You know, I'd love to hear from people. If you want to put a post and come back next month so we can turn around and hear what people, whether or not they want to have it at a hard site or whether or not they'd like to have it back at the park. Realizing if we have it in the park, I need volunteers. Can't do it alone, and I can't do it with, you know, 3 board members and 2 volunteers. It just doesn't work.
But regardless, it's gonna be on the 12th, right?
Regardless, it's going to be on the 12th of December. And the reason I had to turn around and to verify that with you guys and get that at least set in stone is because if I don't reserve him before September 1st, we have no horses.
Wow.
Now is when I got to reserve him. So that's why we have this discussion now. Okay? All right. So we're all good with that. Everybody's good. On to the next subject. Annual meeting.
Sorry, I was gonna ask real quick, did the online for the times, did that work well?
Yes.
'Cause that was,
Yes, it works. That works phenomenally. I think the first year that we did it, we had it to where you had to enter each individual name, right? And you can only reserve one. And what we had was we had problems where people turned around. I think it needs to be a little bit clearer on there. So that first year we had people turn around and say the brand horse, for example, and they'd come with 15 people. But they never told me they were bringing 15 people. They just said the brand horse. Well, I don't know how many people that is. Then they put 1 in, right? So if we're gonna have to, if it's gonna be entered in by 1, then they need to tell me that. Because there's only so many slots per ride, right? I can maybe squeeze 1 or 2 more in depending on the size of the movie ones that are in there. But we squeezed really good last year because we had a lot of people turn around and coming up even after we made it clearer that turned around and said, well, I had 8 extra people coming, right? We made it work. Had people turn around and, I didn't know the hayride was tonight. Where was I supposed to sign up? I think we had about 30 of those people come, and we found a way. We found a way to fit them on the hayride. Not really what we want to do because, you know, we want to try to get families in there together. I think it was one family we wound up having, you know, I think it was mom and 1 kid go on one ride, dad and another child go on another ride because that's the way that we get to come on.
but the system overall looks better. We just have to clarify even more.
We just need to clarify a little bit more to tell them, you know, tell me how many people, verify. And then, you know, maybe after they sign up and stuff, we ask them to provide their email so we can turn around and send them an email confirmation. Well, that says, well, yeah, but that turns around that email confirmation when it's sent back to them, turns around and says, this is how many slots you have signed up for. This is how many people can ride, right? This is how many people can ride. Okay, I think that's extremely important. Okay, we like to try to fill up the early ones first, and then, you know, the last one is the one that we open up only if we run out of space. I'd like to turn around and reserve the 8 o'clock one as a let's not even have it open until everything else is full, because we pay by the hour. right? I believe that horses get paid by the hour, right? So I want to try to turn around and if I can turn around and not do the 8 o'clock run, then then we're not have to pay for part of that time. So if we're able to fill everything else at first, and people are clamoring and saying, I need more openings, then we can turn around and open up the 8 o'clock slot and say, this is what I have. Okay. Annual meeting. Annual meeting will be on the 19th of January. So it'll be at the normal place over at the elementary school. I put a note on there for number 1 to make sure that I set the location so that I can reserve it with them so that gets taken care of. I've got my thing in for it. I've got to turn around and provide the insurance and all that other stuff to those folks, but that'll get taken care of. There's 2 other pieces on there. Number 1 is the voting options. I know that there was some debate last year about how much money we spend on electronic voting.
Can we finalize all that?
Did we finalize a decision on what we're doing for this year in January, February, March, something around there?
I swear I remember you guys talking.
We discussed it.
We
and
discussed it, but I
I
don't
think the issue is that people forget that before we had electronic voting, we would start the meeting about an hour late because we had to sit there and manually register everyone in that was actually eligible to vote. And then after voting, we spent another hour tallying all the votes.
Right.
We had a slight technical snafu where we didn't get the voting at the time, but we could produce it after the fact.
Right.
Previously, the year before that, we were
Everything will be fine.
perfectly. We had a small technical hiccup, but it happens. So the tally with the electronic voting, we get everything sent out to everyone, and there's no. I don't like the idea of the whole proxy voting things we've had in the past either. Whereas one person went around and knocked on a bunch of people's door and asked for them to sign off their proxy. So one person had the capability that their vote had the weight of like 40-some people.
Yeah.
Personally, not a big fan of that.
Right. And the thing, by the way, to let you know is that if it wasn't, just, somebody going and knocking on the door, right? We also had on there that you could turn around on that proxy vote. You could turn around and say, I'll give my vote to the board. The board can vote how it sees fit on the budget, on this, on whatever issues that are there. And so the board then had so many proxy votes, right? That came in, other than the secretary is the one that gets, is the secretary, right? Yes. Secretary gets all the proxy votes, and the secretary then gets to vote on behalf of the board with the proxy votes. See, the secretary, you have a lot of power. You didn't know that, did you? But we really don't like that, because it really doesn't tell me what your opinion is, whether or not you like the budget, whether or not you like the people who are running for the board, if there's more than people that can be on the board, or that want to be on the board. In the newsletter this past month, we said, hey, we're looking for new people to be on the board. I've been on the board for 15 years. Give me a break, please. I'd like at least 1 to 2 years of a break, and I'll come back on. But, I know Tom's been on for a number of years. All of us have busy lives. I hear from a lot of folks, I got a busy life, I got a busy life, I got a busy life. If I turn around and told you what I do on a day-to-day basis, you would sit there and you would say, you have time for this? I understand people have busy lives, but it's your community, and it is what you make of it. And so if you would consider, please consider turning around and doing that. The nominations for people, because if we're going to do electronic voting, nominations have to be in and secured and up on the website prior to us launching the open part of the electronic voting, which means we have to have everything to the contractor by the 15th of December, with an open window like 2 days after Christmas through the night of the annual meeting. So I need any nominations that people and any bios or whatever they want to submit. I need them by not later than like the 12th of December.
So as far as voting options, I still like electronic voting, and
There's one thing to break it out. I'm trying to remember how much electronic voting costs. I remember I thought $3,000.
right.
It was between $2,000 and $3,000, and here's what a lot of people don't understand, right? You have the electronic voting portion, which turns around and like you said, alleviates a lot unnecessary, oh, I gotta sign in, oh, I gotta wait for this, oh, I gotta do this, and the other side of it, getting volunteers and so on and so forth to do the check-in and to validate the votes. The other half of that is that I still, regardless of whether or not I do voting that way or voting electronically, right, about $1,200 of the cost, right, is for envelopes and the paper and the printing and the ballot.
And the postage.
Right?
Well, I'm pretty sure when you did it, it was only like a $600 difference.
Yeah,
It was so
the
minimal to
price
do it by
difference
hand.
between doing electronic and hand was about $600
Yeah.
Right.
And it just went-
So the question is, if you want to save the $600, if I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you know what, I know that, we've had some people turn around and say, well, I'll volunteer to stuff the envelopes or get people to volunteer to stuff the envelopes. Look, and here's the problem. Yes, we have 2,000 residents, 2,085 residents in Mission Viejo. Yes, I have approximately 1,150 people who are active members, and that's the ones that we got to send this stuff out to, right? But the fact of the matter is that, at the end of the day, would you volunteer to help me stuff and seal 1,100 envelopes? By the way, that's, turning around, putting the letter in, along with the discount card, then sealing it, right? And then putting a stamp on it. And then we have to put them in order because not all of them go into Mission Viejo because some of the home owners don't live in Mission.
Mm-hmm.
So those have to go separately. So we have to turn around and categorize them and do it. It's a lot of work, right?
But it's also a lot of time from the board.
It's a lot, and so
And
who
that's
usually
the big
volunteers to do that stuff? It's a lot of times the board, right? At the meeting, as well as coordinating that effort to get it done. And when I look at it, it's not worth the $600 I'm saving. At least not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. So that's why we had gone to electronic voting a couple of years ago.
Did we already put that in the budget for this year?
It's in the budget.
It's in the budget for this year.
All right.
I haven't sent
No,
it yet.
if you could turn around, do me a favor, do the purple and then send the board a
Okay,
sample so that we can
so
turn
let me see,
around
like,
and
decide.
look and see what it might
Do
be.
you want me to send multiple colors?
Yes.
Yeah, send me the
You're
purple
putting a lot
one
of
and
effort into a color.
send us a purple one and send us a green one.
This is just a color guide. That's okay.
But we need to start getting those ordered so that we have them, or the stuff
We
taken care of.
when I order my own, it'll be shipped to the contract. So,
Yeah.
so we save on our shipping costs.
On a side note to that, are we still looking at adding more vendors on there? What's the status of
So
that?
on the back of the card, it literally just points to our website. So.
Well, I know, but we were working on trying to talk to other businesses.
Yeah, I on occasion do, it's just, I'm out of energy.
I know, but that's why I'm bringing it up to see what
Yeah.
else we can do to do that.
So if you have a
And
homegrown
you-
business and you want to offer Mission Viejo residents a discount,
Yeah.
you can do that, right? And in return, what you get is we turn around and you say, you come into a contract with us for a year, you offer the discount. no sweat off your back, right? If nobody uses it, then you haven't lost anything. If somebody does use it, right, it's business for you, right? And what do you get in return? Well, on our discount page, we turn around and we say your business is on. We turn around, if you have a website, we turn around and put a link to it. Look at that, free advertising for what? For offering people a discount.
And to be honest, it's one of our busiest sites that pages on our site.
Yes.
Yeah.
So roughly we get about 1,000 hits on our website, unique hits
A month.
and that page alone gets about 700 to 800.
Is that something we could put in the newsletter to kind of remind businesses out there if they want to be, because
But the
obviously for our residents.
newsletter doesn't get it. But we you know,
It's complicated with the way our newsletter contract works is that we don't pay for it at all. The print company, so they kind of are not so fond of us advertising.
I can put on
Other
the website
things
though,
in there.
right? Can I, is that
Yes.
something I'm allowed to put out on Nextdoor?
You can put that on next door, yeah. We actually also have the availability, and it's actually on our website. There's the ability for, and we have a couple of realtors that actually do this. I think you can be a business sponsor of our webpage, right? And as a business sponsor of our webpage, you can turn around and say, oh, I really like something other than the discount page, right? If you're already doing that 10%. But let's say you really
So one
like
page that we do not
the
allow.
covenants page, right? That you see a lot of people would really go there and you think that there would be a lot of traffic. If you want to sponsor that page, then there would be a banner that would be across the bottom with your information on there, and I think it's like $150 for the year. So I mean, there's ways that businesses can be actively involved in doing that. The problem is trying to get out and to try to talk to people. The small mom and pops, they're willing to talk to you somewhat. I've been in negotiation with some chain places that have, although their chain are independently owned.
Franchises.
And right, franchises. So it really depends, and you got to catch them in the right time with the right.
That's a start though, I can at least put on the website. And
Right.
Social.
Yep.
And what kind of
So
stuff.
we on occasion have people ask us that. So yes, we can do that. It is a little bit of a generator. We hope that it at least covers our expenses for the web page and everything else.
Okay.
Right.
So are we voting? on the-
So yes, I'd like to vote if we can, if you're open to it, on the voting options to keep it as electronic voting. Is that something that you guys feel that we've done at nauseam and would like to vote? Lock that option.
Motion.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll say that we again utilize electronic voting.
Okay.
I'll second that.
In a second. Any further discussion? If not, I call it to order. All those in favor? Aye. Go unanimously. Thank you. All right. There are no other items on the agenda. The next meeting is set for September 15th. I thank all of you for attending and for if you're watching at home for joining us. We'll see you then. We hope to see you either sooner, actually, on Saturday morning, and again on September 12th for the second workday before we have our meeting before our last workday. So thank you all very much for attending.
So
We're good.
we're adjourned at.
So last thing is
Make a motion.
make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at
24.
8:44.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
All right.
If you volunteers for Saturday.